Hello and welcome to this Orlando Shake special presentation on Facebook Live and YouTube. This is our live stream interview with the creative team of this year's PlayFest regarding the play GTFOH. Yes, that's what it means. I am Roberta Emerson, Director of New Play Development at Orlando Shakes, and on behalf of the entire Orlando Shakes team, we'd like to welcome you. The Basel-Keine Family joined City Beverages in presenting PlayFest 2021 with additional support from Frank Santos. So tonight, sit back, relax, and get ready to hear from these fabulous women who will be bringing this drama to life. This is an in-person performance. Aren't we so glad we're back to in-person performance that will take place at Orlando Shakes on Sunday, November 14th at 7 p.m. Also, we would love for you to join in on the conversation from wherever you are. Again, we are live, so if you have any questions, any comments, any things you want to hear from these lovely artists, please put them in the chat and we'll see if we can get to any and all of them. So, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce you to the behind-the-scenes team of GTFOH. First, let me introduce you to our fabulous playwright, Miss Nikki Brake-Silia. Yes, queen. How are you? We are so excited to have you with us at Shakes. Thank you so much for honoring us with your work. Then I'm going to introduce our director for this reading, Miss Elaina Walton.
Hi.
Hey, girl. And finally, my sidekick at Orlando Shakes. Please welcome our PlayFest producer, Nick Bublett. Hey, Nick.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Where are you in a swanky place today?
I am in the place that I live, and it's so wonderful to be looking out into this beautiful oak tree.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Nikki, we're going to start this rolling. We're going to start with you. In your own words, can you tell us a little bit about GTFOH?
Thank y'all so much for having me. I can't wait. I keep counting down the days till November 9th when I'm with y'all. But GTFOH is a play that deals with a couple at the precipice of the dissolution of their marriage. So before everything goes into the can, they go into therapy and try to decide if they're going to work it out or if they're going to GTFOH.
And if you don't know what that means, this is going to be a PG-13 live, so we're not going to actually say that out loud. You should probably Google it. What led you to write this story, Nikki?
I have had so many conversations with friends of mine who are partnered and married, and, you know, hit record, everyone has the same thing, and it all comes down to communication.
Yeah.
People, there are three, as far as I'm concerned, there are three truths. There's my truth, there's the person that I'm speaking with's truth, and then there's the truth. And so I'm really interested in the gray area and what happens in between versus what you perceive, what is heard, and what is actually happening. And when those lines of communication break down between two people who, you know, are desperately in love with each other and they're just trying to find their way back together.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we've certainly all had some relationship where we've had to figure out, you know, where is the truth in that? Yeah. Elaina, I'm going to go over to you. What were your initial thoughts when you were approached with this script?
I loved this story because it very much deals with the idea that we all enter into, you know, all forms of a relationship with the best of intentions, and, you know, with the hope that you are going to bring so much love, light, and joy to the person that you are connecting with, and how so many things get misunderstood and lost in translation. It was so human and very close to me in that way, and I look forward to just sharing that experience with everybody. I can't wait for everybody to see this play. It's really lovely.
It's yeah, me neither. It's really good. Nikki, did you intend for this to be a drama?
It's funny that you asked that because I look back at all of my work and all of them are drama, and there might be like some comedy, some dramedy sprinkled in there. But I think that there are moments for levity in the piece, but inherently when you're trying to salvage something and you're really fighting for, the survival of a marriage, that drama is inherent to the story.
Right. Can you talk about, and Elaina and Nikki, both of you jump in here as you see fit. Can you, without giving too much away, right? Play definitely deals with, I don't want to get that. I actually don't want to say that because I don't want to give it away. But I do want to I want to celebrate, right, that this is a story about not only people, but a couple of color, right? And it's written by a beautiful Black woman, and it's going to be directed by a beautiful Black woman, right? And that is very intentional, and I'm so happy and so proud of how intentional that we were able to be with this year's festival, and I want to celebrate that. So can you talk a little bit, without giving too much away, can you talk a little bit about, one, obviously what led you to write and share this story about this couple in this way? And Elaina, what does that mean to be developing this play that people need to, hear and read and see eventually about these particular people?
So when I was writing this play, the thing that's always write what I want to see. I write my experiences. I write the experiences of my friends. And, Black folks, we're not allowed to just be ourselves and be in conversation with each other and love each other down and have arguments and be normal and natural and that be a thing. It always has to be, some incredible wound or some huge amount of trauma in order for people to want to identify with our stories. Right. And the most important thing for me is that this is a regular schmegula couple. They love each other. Sometimes they hate each other. All the times they might not like each other, but they're together and they're fighting together and they're trying to figure it out. And it's not always pretty, but it's not ugly either. Like the underlining theme is that they love each other, and if they didn't love each other, they wouldn't be trying to save this marriage.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You just put that so beautifully. I feel like for me, what is special about having the opportunity to develop such wonderful work, I would just like to add to what Nikki so beautifully stated, is that, Black people, we are not a monolith. How we live, and what a beautiful way to, present to the world, this is how we live, this is how we love, this is how we talk to each other in our homes, this is how we talk about our children, our relationships. And having the opportunity to be a part of showing that beautiful, beautiful cast of BIPOC artists. It's a dream come true. I mean, this is what we as BIPOC artists, this is what we ask for. This is what we yearn for. And to be able to stand in that is just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, because it becomes a chance, for the story to just be the story, and for us to just be us, right? And so sometimes we forget to celebrate that because we're so, especially in this society, we're so constantly trying to, navigate. How do I get you to see me? And really, it's not that hard, right?
Nikki, I think the thing that struck me so hard with reading this play in particular, I think, was just that exactly what Roberta said, is just like finding that little piece of myself, or that miscommunication between that. What is the breakdown of relationship, and how can that be mended? How can that be? How do we walk away? Like, all of that is just so incredibly relatable, but to have these deeply complex characters on stage on top of that, that's just it's a cherry on top of a perfect sundae right there.
Thank you. And also I think that it's really important for people to realize that sometimes the greatest act of love is to walk away. And I think that that's really important for people to recognize, is that just because it's not your version of a happy ending doesn't mean that it's not a happy ending.
Right.
And that everyone has the gamut of the emotions and of the feelings. And yeah, I hope that everyone sees a bit of themselves in each of these characters, and it speaks to all relationships.
Yeah.
Across the board.
And when you're in a situation like that, sometimes you yourself are too close to the puzzle to see the other pieces connecting around you. And so it's just, there's that journey that you go through of like, am I making the right choice in the moment? But everything else is aligning for you outside of it too. So kudos to you. This is a great story.
Thank you.
And it is so true, and it's so real, and yet so much of it is very poetic. Did you have any influences? Do you have any playwrights that influenced you? Any poets that influenced you? Like, can you talk a little bit about the process of getting here?
I mean, it's always like, I just think the list off the top of my head is Ntozake Shange, Octavia Butler, N.K. Jemisin, James Baldwin. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on and on. But those, Ed Ruthie Roy, Nina Simone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm really interested in the people who can talk about their pain so well that you feel it.
Yeah.
Without taking it on.
Come on.
And because, nobody wants to be scarred by something that they're watching or they're listening to. Like, this is supposed to be fun. I don't want to pay you to come away and like have to go to my therapist double time that week. Like, that's not what I'm interested in. That's not the theater I'm interested in, or the film that I'm interested in consuming. But I do want people to think about it, and I want them to question their relationships. And, you should be speaking with love and not with poison. And it's so easy to speak with poison. Yes. And it's so much harder to speak from a place of love. And I have kids, and I think about that all the time. Like, am I going to pour love into you, or am I going to pour poison into you? Like, they didn't ask to be brought here. Right. And it's the same thing with my husband. Like, we made a vow to be together through thick and thin. And, some days it's real thin and other days it's like super thick. But as long as we both focus on the why, then hopefully we can always go through those days that are a little less shiny.
Right. Awesome. Can you, Elaina, obviously directing a reading is much different than directing a production. Can you talk about how you intend, or how you guys have discussed diving into this reading in a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks? Oh my goodness.
2 weeks. No. Oh my God.
2 weeks.
Yeah. We get there.
Trucking along.
What I love so much about directing a reading is that we get to really hone in on the language of the play, specifically how these characters communicate. And, what I find so lovely about this piece is that a lot of it is not about what is literally said, but what is not being said. And also I'm trying so hard not to give anything away in the way.
I know, right? I'm like, I want to talk about it, but
I want to talk about all of it. Okay, but also the way they communicate, what's not being said, also how we as humans just ask for, we go and asking for so much without even realizing that this other person is always, especially in terms of a romantic relationship, is even at their worst is still trying to offer you their best. Yes. And so with the reading, we get to delve into all of that language, while also I feel like there's a lot more freedom in a reading to get into that deeper interpretation also. Even the way it is staged in the, I don't know. I find very much that a reading is very much about listening to what is being said. Whereas with the fully mounted production, there's so many elements to draw your attention. But within a reading, we get to really get into the heart of what the playwright is wanting to communicate to us and the world. So, yeah.
What do you, Nikki, Elaina, whoever, what do you hope to get out of this particular point of the process?
I'm hoping my light is now strobing. I think it says it's been on too long, so that's why I'm giving some added mood to the scene.
Come on, bring it.
Okay. I'm hoping to make sure that everyone leaves conflicted. Like what? There's no right or wrong. I want to make sure that everything is built out so that it's clear that there is no right or wrong, because do you want to be right or do you want to be alone? I feel like that's a question that's always at the forefront of all of these situations. You want to be right or you want to be alone? Do you want to be right for the moment? So yeah, I really want to build out those moments, especially towards the latter part of the piece, so that you really don't know what's going to happen, what's going to be in store for this couple, and that everyone is invested in their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I?
No, yeah.
I think
it struck me because literally a day ago, and I think we were supposed to have this live, which is interesting, yesterday. We had to reschedule, but I had spoken with a friend and a lesson, right? And his lesson was, do you want to be right or it's the same thing, right? You know, how do we push ourselves to be the right person in the room? So I love that you said that, and that's where my brain. Yeah,
it's a journey of compromise. I mean, it's like collaboration in general is just constantly that give and take, that push and pull, the ebb and flow, and I think that's again what we can connect to with that. Sorry, Elaina, please start. Whatever. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just connected with that thought.
Yeah, no, understandable. Yeah, I think that what I would want people to walk away with after seeing this is to keep in the back of their mind that we're all just out here trying to be seen and trying to be heard. Even under you could imagine to be the worst circumstances, even at our lowest place. I would say it's in those moments that we want to be seen and heard the most. But still, remember, no matter who you're in communication with, no matter the energy of the communication, at the end of the day, we all just want to be seen and we just want to be heard. So I feel like that would be the number one thing I would want people to walk away from piece with. As far as this is in development, I just hope that I'm able to lend my artistry in such a way.
You will, definitely.
That Nikki is able to walk away from this knowing like that it's only nothing but up from here, that she knows exactly where she's able to take this next, and how lucky am I that I actually get to have the playwright in the room with me. So I can.
It's a blessing. It doesn't happen sometimes.
So we can discuss and go through these choices and decisions. I'm like getting overwhelmed already.
No, it's great. No, we love it. The passion is clear. Nikki, I'm curious, what is your experience with developing plays, and what is your experience developing this play? When did you begin this process, and what is the process like for you right now as you lead into PlayFest? And obviously you get to hear it out loud, but I'm curious, what is your development process like?
Well, funny that you asked that question. It was written during the Mitten residency in 2019. I had like my first baby draft, and then I developed it with Jouska Playworks. Shout out to Jouska, which is a writers group that I'm a part of here in Philly. It also had a LARC roundtable read, which was incredibly instrumental in getting it closer and closer to where it can stand up on its feet. And this is going to be my very first live in person, like everybody breathing the same air development. So when I tell you I am ready and very excited, and I might get a little teary, so just a little emotional, a little bit clumped.
Girl, I'm gonna cry.
We're all crying. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I am definitely a crier. We'll just be in there crying together.
Yeah. Me too. I sob frequently.
Yeah, this will also be my first time, since the year that shall not be named, that I have been able to be in a live theater space making art with other beautiful people. So yes to this entire experience.
And props to Orlando Shakes in general for the COVID protocol that we're following in order to ensure the safety of all of our artists. The vaccination cards, all of that, all of that is definitely what's instrumental in making this a live event, because last year, while wonderfully successful, we were digital, and this is the first time that Roberta and I are back in the space. Well, Roberta directed 2 years in the live version, but I haven't been live in the space for PlayFest since 2019, and neither has Roberta. And it's going to be fun to have people in the room and be in that festival kind of vibe and experience again. I think that's what's missing.
Yeah. So, don't want to keep you guys all night. I know you've got families and everything to deal with, but can you share any final thoughts, any final hopes going into this process, leading out of this process? What do you want the audience to know? Anything?
I want the audience to know that the hardest thing is showing up. The hardest thing is showing up. But once you show up, everything else is way easier. And that's like how you show up in all of your relationships sometimes can be the hardest thing. But once you reach that hurdle, then everything else is gravy. Because we all just want to be seen and heard.
Amen.
If there's one thing, making me choose the one. Okay. I would definitely say, remember to listen to understand and not just to hear.
Woo! Woo!
Listen to understand, not just to hear. Yeah. I feel like that is such a life's one of life's many ongoing lessons. As we live, as we grow, as we communicate, just listen for the understanding. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's a benefit of a doubt that we forget to give ourselves and each other, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna say it again. I don't even care. They get mad at me all you want to. I am going to celebrate the Black queens in this room. I am so excited. You guys do not know how important it is that this is the room that is happening right now. And I thank you. I thank you for being with us. I thank you for gracing us with your art. And I am so excited to hopefully give you a squeeze when you come into the room, because
absolutely
this is amazing.
All the squeezes.
You see, and I'm about to cry. Woo!
I'm a big hugger. You've been
my goodness. I'm so excited. Okay. Everybody on live, before we keep this love fest going, GTFOH will be held at Orlando Shakes on Sunday, November 14th at 7 p.m. So you can order your tickets at orlandoshakes.org. We wholeheartedly thank our presenting sponsor, the Basel-Keine Family, joining with City Beverages and additional support from Frank Santos. Don't miss the PlayFest readings this year. Do not miss the PlayFest readings this year. I'm saying it again. Do not miss the PlayFest readings this year. Friday night readings are online only and will be held November 5th and the 12th. Saturday readings will be held November 6th and 13th and will begin at 2 and 7. Again, GTFOH. This play will be November 14th at 7. Please remember that we are following all of our policies to keep our artists and our audience safe. Remember to wear your face mask once you enter Orlando Shakes. And for the time being, you must bring a negative COVID test or you may present proof of vaccination. So either or, proof of vaccination or negative COVID test in order to enter our building and watch these beautiful artists play on our playground. If you're bringing your vaccination card, please also bring a photo identification so that we can make sure and don't crisscross and check all of our dot all of our I's and cross all of our T's. Again, we want to keep all of our artists safe and we want to be able to continue to play. I want to hug them and we need to do it with you so we can do that. Thank you so much for joining us on this live. Bye, guys. Thank you, Elaina. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. My pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
See you in November.